Business Finland was formed 2 years ago through a merger of Export Promotion Agency and Innovation Agency, and this really is still visible in the sense that we have a really broad agenda, not only promoting innovation but also export, attracting investment and so on. But then we have a broad set. I won't go through all of these, but I could say that everything we do is connected to international growth, and then again, leading innovation and business ecosystem in the Finnish economy. And of course, if we want to have leading innovation and business ecosystems, these need to be connected to the outside world, the global knowledge networks, value chains, and so on. And this is where CELTIC-NEXT kind of international programs come into the picture, and they are very important. And therefore, also the funding outlook for 2023, also in long term for coming years, is good for good quality certain projects. All the cluster projects in system, we don't have a fixed budget for clusters or CELTIC, but proposals compete with the national proposals. This is actually good news because this means that we can fund very large projects. We can fund many projects in one call, and so the system is very, very flexible. But projects are competing proposals to really match criteria and priority. Funding is available kind of organizations. It's our specialty is mid-cap category of companies with turnover less than 300 million euros. These are very, very good participants in CELTIC-NEXT process, as well as SMEs also. Micro-sized companies, we like to see these more in the role of subcontractor. Of course, they can also be partners if that's the case. And we have slightly renewed funding rules for co-innovation in projects where companies and public service organizations are collaborating from the start of this year. And I'm happy to say that the changes are in favor of international cooperation. Thematic focus, you all, I'm sure, know that digitalization is very much core of our thematic agenda, connectivity. We have really large 6G bridge program, bridge meaning that it also covers the remaining versions of 5G. So connectivity content is really good for us. Eligibility criteria, all Finnish companies do pretty well our criteria, and usually they don't present any like unexpected surprises or anything like that. But the composition of the consortium is really crucial. It would be good to have mid-caps and SMEs in every consortium. Growth, impact, novelty, management, and financing for every participating company are some key criteria. As I said, no specific euro limit. Very seldom more than 3 years for project duration. Technically possible, but it's not very commonplace. A few words about co-innovation funding process model, because this is really the most common one for CELTIC-NEXT projects. The other kind of participation is if there are only companies participating, then they can participate as individual companies, but if you have public research organizations, they are sort of grouped together into one co-innovation funding model. And actually, this picture is maybe not that informative. I go to the next one. So all Finnish participants form technically a Finnish consortium within the international CELTIC consortium, and this is another and straightforward thing. But then within this consortium, so every company participating can be granted funding in accordance with the regular funding options that are offered by Business Finland. Companies need to have a plan to grow in the international market, and the company must have sufficient funding, self-financing to carry out their part of the project financing. And then for public research organizations, so actually if the companies are involved and they are really involved in let's say a real collaboration, so the output for public research organization be funded is really good, and from the beginning of this year, the funding level is 80% for international calls. This is actually 10% more than in previous years. And we try to adapt our call timeline and so on, the international calls as well as we can. So it's basically continuously open application. Here are some of the criteria, but maybe to save some time, I don't read through these. I already maybe took a lot in this up. But it's the credibility of the joint action that is really the core question, that it's not about cosmetics, but it's really about the content collaboration. That was all. Here you have the names of 3 of my colleagues who can advise in more detailed level, but you can also contact me well, if any questions arise. And I stop sharing now so that I see your faces and if there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heikki. That was very good. Sorry for the little problems at the beginning. We are in that's our first hybrid event. So yeah, thanks a lot. So any question in the room or on the shared WebEx? So I see one question on the WebEx. I start with the WebEx one. How is the evaluation for Finnish companies who are veturi companies? Sorry for the pronunciation. As they receive large funding from Business Finland, would they then be likely they can't receive more Business Finland funding if they participate in CELTIC project?
No, this is a really good question actually, and the answer is yes and no. The veterinary companies, the locomotive companies, they would not receive additional funding for the same content that they have already been granted funding for in their veterinary project. But the members in their locomotive ecosystem can receive additional funding. And another point is that even these companies, if the CELTIC would be outside the scope of the veterinary project they have, then additional funding would of course be possible because it's another sort of like application area we are talking about. But I want to say that you should not forget the veterinary companies in this context, because they have already a lot of funding actually for R&D work, and that R&D work can be a part of the work of a CELTIC consortium. So we are very proud of our veterinary companies and veterinary projects. They are very key for our industry moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the answer.